There must be something in the water. Must be something in the water.
So since this is vlog style, I just want to let you know if you ask me anything that could incriminate me in a crime, I'm not answering it. Oh, it's still in the shot? Oh, okay, all right.
Are we ready? Ready? And what up, you guys? And this is another episode of Meet the DJ. And this week we have the GOAT himself.
Okay.
Mr. chuckT.
All right, how you doing?
How are you?
Look, shit, I'm doing great. Happy to be in the 919. You know, it's rare that I get free time to just be able to shoot somewhere, you know, and just kick it with my peoples and, you know, do nice little laid back type things. But this is one of those things. So, you know, I had to stop by and see you. I had to stop by and hop on this Meet the DJ thing with you, you know.
Well, we're definitely ready to meet the DJ. Now, can you tell the people why they need to meet this DJ?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all ain't gotta meet me. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't need to meet me. You could just go ahead about your sorry ass career and just cross your fingers that something happens well for you. You know what I'm saying? I hope that whatever you got going on, you know what I'm saying, God just blesses you out the blue. You know, if you like playing the lottery, you can play the lottery with your career. But if you want to for sure way, you know what I'm saying, to get on at least on the right path to having success, you need to come see me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, that was the social media answer. That was the, you know, let me swing my dick answer. chuckT is one of the GOATs of the Carolinas. He is a DJ, an educator, a curator of music. Also, he is a music critic. He also puts on some of the largest shows in the Carolinas, and is like the gate after you meet the gatekeeper. So yeah, no, I mean, everything you said is correct. Just you know, from a non-playing around standpoint, I definitely have positioned myself to where I have built my career to where I am a resource and I'm an asset to independent artists, you know, no matter what genre. You know, I understand that the DJ can only be as big as the artist in their area. You know, you do have a lot of DJs from the Carolinas who reached successful parts of their career, but until we get artists going 10, 15 times platinum and, you know, doing world tours and things of that nature, and we talking about more than just the baby, we talking about, you know, 20 to 30 artists doing it at one time, sort of like Atlanta, the DJs will only get to a certain level, you know? So we feed off each other. The bigger the artists get, the bigger the DJs get. The bigger the DJs get, the bigger the artists get.
Now, you mentioned the artist, the baby. You had an opportunity to do some work with that artist. Yeah. What was it like working with him, not just while he's in his status he's at now? You worked with him prior to that as well.
Very beginning, very beginning.
How was there ever a moment where you were like, yo, I kind of know this guy is gonna be something? What was it that separated him, you think?
The thing that separated him from everybody else was the fact that he never stopped. You know, one of the things I see here in the Carolinas, and I don't just want to say it happens only in Charlotte, because it happens everywhere, is artists will go hard for about 3 months after a project, maybe 4 if they're lucky, and then they'll run out of gas. You won't see them anymore. They won't put any more promo in the whatever they're pushing. And then they'll pop back up 6, 7 months later, go hard again. So they have these long gaps where, you know, they're inactive. And then they'll have short spurts where they're everywhere and then back to inactive. With the baby, he was constantly active. Like, he was constantly in your face. He was constantly and consistently doing heavy promo. The promo never, you know, went down and then picked back up, went down and then picked back up. The man was always on the road. He always was constantly coming to me to get promo materials, whether it be posters, flyers, banners. Even when he got signed, we still got posters, flyers, and banners. Getting his mixtapes uploaded on the websites, things of that nature, you know, paying for promo, going to the clubs, meeting the DJs, paying the DJs to spin his records at peak times. You know, like, he constantly stayed moving. It was one project after another. So when he got signed, The boy had a catalog of easily 12 to 13 projects. And he went hard 24/7. He's at South by Southwest promoting his music and doing things to get noticed. He's at A3C promoting his music, doing things to get noticed. He's going down to Bike Week. He's going to spring break in Miami. He's constantly moving and shaking. There was never a time where we didn't see him and then he popped back up like, hey, I never left. Constantly shooting videos, constantly doing vlogs. I feel like he was one of the artists who revolutionized the vlog situation here in the Carolinas. Like, it didn't matter where he was at, what he was doing, he always had a camera with him. And the content is what kept people engaged.
Do you think that the baby has become the blueprint for how to get yourself broken, or?
Yeah. I feel like he's the blueprint. And for the longest, we only had J. Cole to look at. And being that J. Cole got on in an unorthodox way, a lot of people say he got lucky. I don't feel like he got lucky. He got on in an unorthodox way. A lot of people would say he skipped steps, but he didn't skip steps. He just so happened to be in the right places at the right time. You know, and we all wish that we could be in the right places at the right time. But the baby didn't have those same opportunities to be in the right place at the right time. He had to create those opportunities. So whereas people made excuses to why they couldn't get on a level like J. Cole, like, oh, you know, he just so happened to be in New York. He just so happened to be able to get a demo to Jay-Z. And that's why I can't make it, or that's why I never made it big, or that's why he just so happened to get big. The baby was able to show people, no, you can still get on, you know, by doing the hard work, by doing the showcases, passing out the CDs, passing out the flyers, doing the legwork, meeting with the DJs, politicking with the DJs, going to the clubs, performing for free, performing for a booth and a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Paying to get on these radio stations, big stages, whenever they do their festivals and things of that nature. And he showed people, you know, if you stay consistent, stay grinding, stay promoting, and then form a team and give your team a piece of your success. Not promise niggas, oh yeah, when I get on, I got you. No, he said, nah, we all forming this company together. So if I get signed, we all have a stake and we all have equity in me getting on. None of that, oh, I'm gonna give you something if I get on, and then, you know, you get on nowhere, nothing ever happens. Right. Happens to everybody all the time, especially as DJs. But he showed a blueprint of you work hard, you put together a team, you make sure your team is just as invested as you are because you're giving them a piece of your success, and we all move as a unit, and we don't take no days off, no breaks, it'll pay off. I feel like people never saw that happen. You know, never saw it happen here in the Carolinas, didn't believe it could happen, you know, and now you see so many artists doing the same thing. I mean, he has intimidated a lot of artists because he shot up so high, so quick, as some people would say, but that he gave you the blueprint. There's nothing else, there's nothing more that you can say, no more excuses. You see what he did, and you see he became the #1 rapper in the world, right. Arguably the #1 artist in the world, and there's no more excuses. You got the blueprint right there. Proof in the pudding.
Right, down to even the fact that he put some other people on.
Yeah, so even to the fact that he put a lot of people on, everybody gives you this whole spiel about, oh, once I get on, then I'm gonna come back and get you, or let me focus on myself and then I'm gonna take my team with me. And he basically showed y'all, no, I can get in the door, and before I become this mega mogul, I can bring all y'all with me. That way, when I get hot, y'all can feed off of the heat as well. You know what I'm saying? The heat will transfer down to y'all, and we saw it happen with Stunner for Vegas. Like, the baby had barely gotten his deal and had barely gotten his foot in the door before they were already pushing Stunner. You know, and as he was getting hot, he went on to sign, you know, the other artists he had on the label. You know, Rich Dunk and he has a new artist, Wisdom. He got a female artist now. So, you know, he has a nice little team. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice little team.
Now, we talked about the baby's origin story. Mm-hmm. Every superhero has an origin story. What's yours?
Well, naturally, I started off in the game as a rapper. You know? Yeah, I started off as a rapper. And I just got to a point in my rap career where, and you know, a lot of people laugh when I tell them this, but it's the God's honest truth. I got tired of lying on records. You know, a lot of artists have no shame. They will say that they did this, did that, no good and well they didn't do that shit. But me, I just got to a point where I knew I was only selling a quarter pound here, a quarter pound there, but I'm on record saying I moved a kilo. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was on record saying I was smashing models, but I was really smashing like some thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Some little ratchets in the hood. But you know, I just got tired of it. Let me see what I could do to still be a part of the music game. Let me try my hand at multiple things and see which one sticks, which one I like. And you know, I tried production, I tried engineering, I did promoting, I did management. I did a whole lot of things. And I ended up throwing a lot of independent showcases. And we got to think, this was back in 2001, 2002, before it was popular to do showcases. And I used to be in the radio station so much, buying ads and bringing other people to buy ads for their shows, because they used to hear my stuff on the radio all the time, that I noticed that they had a opening for a job in ad sales for the radio station. So I just, you know, put it out there that I would be interested in it because I make the radio station so much money now, and boom, they gave me the job immediately. And for anybody who's in radio, you know that when you're doing ad sales, you have to wait on the production crew, you know, whether it be the jocks or the mixers, to cut commercials. So I was selling so many ads that they were getting behind doing my ads, to where I would have the the clients calling me like, yo, said my ad was gonna run at 7 p.m. tonight, I ain't heard it. And I would go holler at the people in production, oh, we ain't had a chance to do it, we backed up, this, that, and other. So since I knew how to work all the equipment from, you know, rapping and engineering, boom, I started doing my own commercials. So then the people from the radio station was like, well, damn, that's a new voice. Who's that? You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, that's old buddy who works in sales. So from there, you know, it was one of those things where it just grew. They said, well, you know what? Come on to the production side. When they get slow, you can fill in. I did that. And then we had a situation where a jock ended up getting suspended. They didn't have anybody who wanted to fill his position. It was late night. I'm right there. Let me do it. You know what I'm saying? I done watched niggas long enough. I got the voice for it. I know how this shit is set up. Boom. Got a job doing late nights at the radio station, and that's when I noticed that the mixers were the people who actually got control over the playlist. The jocks have no control over the playlist. So I bought me a little bullshit Gemini DJ battle pack, taught myself how to DJ, started buying records, and eventually a opening became available for a late night mixer. I hopped on that, and from there I started doing mixtapes. And my career basically just took off. Like, it was one thing led to another. Like, I literally positioned myself to be in the right place at the right time. And, you know, here I am 20 some odd years later, you know, still doing music full time. And you know, should I easily have close to 50 awards for DJing and making mixtapes. And it's all because I just stayed down, stayed working, made myself available, you know, worked hard, and, you know, put myself in the right places, in the right circles.
Yeah, so I gotta ask about it because you're on Meet the DJ and people are gonna want to, they're in the comments already asking. Mm-hmm. So what is the Charlemagne connection? We gotta know. So, you know, my connection with Charlemagne, naturally a lot of people know me from being in Charlotte, but I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. That's what chuckT stands for. chuckT stands for Chucktown, which is really?
Yeah,
that's
which
not
is,
your actual name.
No. Everybody knows my real name is David. You go on my Facebook, my real name is David. Right. But no, when I first started DJing, like I said, people knew me from doing ad sales at the radio station. So when I first started DJing, I didn't have a name. So I was DJing in all of these hole in the walls and, you know, dirt clubs with dirt floors and all that. In the, you know, the club owners and managers used to just call me Chucktown, because, you know, that's short for Charleston. They call Charleston Chucktown. So they used to call me where I was from. They'd be like, Chucktown, what you doing tonight? I got $100 for you to come DJ. Chucktown, what you doing, my nigga? You're playing too much Lil Jon and East Side Boys. So it was just one of those things where once DJing took off, you know, I needed a name, so I just took Chucktown, shortened it to chuckT. But me and Charlemagne interned at the same radio station for the longest. He just took a different path than me because, you know, they used to tell me, get coffee and do all that other shit. And I used to be like, nah, fuck that, I came here to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching y'all, I'm not about to get nobody no fucking coffee. And Charlemagne was like, yo, you gotta pay your dues, you know what I'm saying? You gotta pay your dues. And I was like, nah, fuck all that. So I ended up leaving from the radio station where we were both at together. I got a job in the mall. And I was set, cause my mixtapes was going so crazy at the time. So I really didn't even need a job. You know, it was just, you know, radio, I'm DJing, 1 + 1 = 2, be on the radio. But the mixtapes was going crazy, and I was used to selling mixtapes at a store in the mall I was working at. And as Charlemagne just progressed through his career, and you know, me and him kept at it. You know, we used to always, he used to always come in the store, buy mixtapes. We'd sit around and talk for hours. And then we both started working with a record label called Never So Deep Records, out of Charleston as well. They had an artist that had to deal with Interscope, Geffen at the time. So Charlemagne was actually part of the staff. I was just there, you know, as a DJ to sort of lend a helping hand and lend my ear, my professional experience. And we just spent a lot of time together, and you know, we never grew apart. You know, even whenever he had moved on to different areas like Columbia, South Carolina, he had a show in Philly, he got a show in New York working with Wendy Williams. Like, I always sort of, you know, looked to him for advice. He always looked to me for advice because he knew I was in the streets and always was in touch with what was going on in the streets. And man, I mean, we grown men, and you know, some relationships just never die. Right,
because I see that he references you a lot when it comes to like breaking Carolina artists.
Yeah.
It seems like you're like,
yeah, no, we talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? We talk all the time about what's going on in the Carolinas, just what's going on in the music industry in general. Because we have a personal relationship. We've been friends 20 some odd years. So I have that direct line to him if for some reason somebody needs some strings pulled, and vice versa. You know, there's been issues where Charlemagne has had to hit me. Hey, somebody down there in the Carolinas, they done got themselves in a little bind. You know what I'm saying? I told him I could help him. I'm calling you. I'm trying to call in a favor for him. And you know, shit, it's just love. You know, much love.
So speaking of relationships in the game, how important are relationships? Are they kind of like a currency when it comes to the industry, really? Yeah,
if we're gonna relate
just talking
relationships, if we're gonna relate relationships to currency, which they are, you know, I would relate it to gold. You can say that like Bitcoin, you know, because they're expensive, but Bitcoin goes up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gold is always gonna be on top of the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's always gonna be steady, and it's always gonna appreciate in value. Gold never takes big dips like a Bitcoin. So yeah, relationships in any industry, but mainly in the music industry, are like gold because money can't buy them. It's one of those situations where calling in favors is worth more than any dollar amount. There's things that people have done to where you can't put a price tag on what it'll take to save their career or to fix whatever mistake they made. The only thing that'll fix it is phone calls from people who have leverage, you know what I'm saying, and have relationships. And they have relationships to save you money, you know what I'm saying, in so many different ways. I mean, it's like I said, it's like that in every last single field, but in music, because a lot of times you put so much into music before you get paid, you know, your relationships are what's going to fuel your career for the longest.
So relationships and apparently knowledge, because knowledge is definitely power.
Yeah, knowledge is definitely power.
And you actually are teaching artists the foundation of music.
Exactly. So what ended up happening is, you know, throughout my time in the music industry, I saw so many artists, you know, come up in the game and then crash out. And we talking about like crash out. And a lot of times, you know, we call artists stupid, we call them dumb. And not just artists, but producers, DJs, managers, et cetera, et cetera. We call them dumb and we call them stupid, but this game is designed to be deceptive. Like the people who are funding the music industry and funding the music game are purposely setting it up to be deceptive. They make money so hard to find, and they make your rights so hard to protect, and they spread the money out so much to where there's no way, you know, anybody can know the ins and outs of the game just naturally. And then there's not even really a lot of schools for the ins and outs of the business side of music. If I want to be a painter, if I want to be a carpenter, if I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, there's a million different schools and programs and certification programs I can take. But if I want to be a music industry executive, you know, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Good luck. You can maybe count the amount of places that actually teach you the business of music on one hand. You know, maybe two. You know, I'm just being generous. And then a lot of them aren't designed for us, for our people, for the creators, for the people from the hood, from the people, the people from the ghettos and the people from the traps. You know, a lot of these programs aren't designed for us to even be able to have access to. So that's why I learned the game from A to Z. I dived into all of the books. I watched hours of videos. I talked to plenty of people, you know, from publishing companies and record labels who knew the business, and I formulated a class where I could give it to our people and put it into terms that we understand. You know, a lot of artists don't know that there's two sides to publishing. There's two sides to streaming. You know, you're supposed to get paid twice off streams. People only know, oh, you know, I got my distro kid or my TuneCore check. They don't know that there's a totally separate side of streaming that you're supposed to get paid for as well. And these companies keep that money. You know what I'm saying? These companies keep that money. Same thing with just basic PROs and performance rights, ASCAPs and BMI.
So what happens to that unclaimed money?
Man, a lot of times they go back into the company, they keep it. Or they hold on to it and they flip it 20, 30 times over before you maybe find somebody to give it to you. So, you know, I mean, it's one of those things where they set it up like that. They set it up to make it so hard to find so that they can keep it.
Do you think more artists out there than not don't know what's going on?
Oh, by far. Because if we knew that a motherfucker owed us a couple thousand, we gonna go get the couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have no idea.
What's the feedback you get in the classes? Man,
the classes,
like, are a lot of them realizing what they left on the table?
Yeah, well, I'm catching artists before they even leave the money on the table, which is the great part. But yeah, a lot of them are like, I have no idea. Like, I really had no idea that I was supposed to register for ASCAP and BMI and for Song Trust. Like, I really had no idea that I was supposed to sign up as a songwriter and as a publishing company with my PRO. I had no idea what the hell Sound Exchange was. I had no idea, you know, that I was supposed to do this and do that, and, you know, I was supposed to copyright my music, and I was supposed to, you know, trademark my name. Like, there's just so much that people had no idea what to do. And then a lot of people didn't know how easy it was to do it. Once I actually showed them what they needed to do, then I walked them to do it, and they were like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I had no idea it was that easy to do it.
Wow. Now, even when it comes down to, like, how artists interact with the DJs business-wise, how important are, like, DJs getting DJ service packs?
Oh, it's very important, because with where we are right now with music, you want to make sure that your music is able to be played any and everywhere. And a DJ service pack is going to give DJs access to different versions of your music, so that a DJ can play it any and everywhere. The average DJ service pack has the clean version, dirty version, instrumental, 8-bar intro, and the acapella. You know, at the bare minimum, you need the clean and the dirty version. There's so many places that you need your music to be played and you need it to be broken at. in order for it to actually be a hit record. And you don't want to fuck around and let's just say I did my deal with the Charlotte Hornets. I'm in I'm thinking about the Panthers. I'm in the Spectrum Center where the Hornets play at. We got 20,000 people in there. I want to play your song, but I have no clean version. So you just missed out on me playing in front of 20, 30,000 people. Same thing if I was to do something with the Panthers. We have Bank of America Stadium. Same thing with homecomings. With all of the HBCUs and colleges that do homecomings, you want to make sure I have a clean version of your record and I'm able to do it. And then just with an 8-bar intro or 16-bar intro, everybody really does 8. I know a few who've done 16. It makes it easy for a DJ to mix in your record with whatever hot record was coming in before it. A lot of times records these days, especially with artists like DaBaby, they start rapping immediately when the beat drops. And it makes it hard for a DJ to mix that in with the record that he may be coming out of in a mix. So an 8-bar intro will give me time to be able to mix that record in to where it sounds smooth and it's seamless. You never want to cut your legs off. You don't want nobody to have any excuse to not be able to play your record.
What should an artist have completely in order before they go to DJ to release a song?
Before you go to a DJ, first and foremost, you want to have multiple versions of your record. So you want to have the clean, dirty, instrumental, a cappella. I tell artists you want to have your record registered with your PRO, which is ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC if you're lucky. You want to make sure it's registered with Sound Exchange, and you want to make sure you're registered with whatever publishing company that you have. If you're an independent artist, boy, look, we in the trap. You know what I'm saying? Trap phone ringing, hotline blinging. But you want to make sure you have it registered with an independent publishing company like Song Trust as well. And then out the gate, you want to make sure you have it actually knows what they're talking about. Because of the pandemic, we have seen an influx of music critics, people who sit at home and listen to music and they tell you, oh yeah, it's hot, no, it's trash, it's whack, it's garbage. And you look at their resume and they have no resume, they're just regular people. And sure, the opinion of regular people does matter, but you need that professional opinion. You need the people who got a track record in this game. So I always tell people, get your music critiqued, get as many opinions on it as possible before you mash the gas, but make sure they're credible,
So how can they meet the DJ? How can they meet chuckT?
I'm not as easy to get in contact with now as I used to be, just because, I feel like, you got to show me you serious first. Before, I used to just hop out here and have conversations with any artist because I used to just want to help them so much. But now you got to be putting in work before I even give you the time of day. So you can hit me up on social media. It's at DJ chuckT. You can email me, djchuckT@gmail.com. And like I said, on social media, it's all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is at DJ chuckT. But the best way to really, really fuck with me is to show me you serious. Take my music business class. Let me know that you serious about the business of music. Sit down with me, pay for a consultation. Let me know that you really, really have an interest in seeking some type of guidance or knowledge in music. Pay for a music review. You know what I'm saying? Show me that you really, really want a professional review and a professional opinion on your music. Pull up on me at a showcase, pay to perform. You know what I'm saying? Pay to come to one of my meet and greets. I know I keep using the word pay, but at the end of the day, this is business. And if you paying everybody else, you may as well pay the DJ. Shit, I'm trying to help you get to 1 million. That doesn't necessarily mean you gonna give me a piece of your 1 million. So shit, let me get some now. We all sitting down. The only reason you want to talk to me or want my help is so that you can make money off of your music. So shit, I'm a resource. You know what I'm saying? Pay me, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure that you get paid off of the knowledge that I give you.
Do you feel like the DJ is like an element that always gets kind of overlooked?
As of recently, in the beginning, no, definitely in the beginning of hip hop and in its infancy, the DJ was an intricate part of the music industry. Nobody would even think about skipping over the DJ. But I feel like now, because there's so many avenues, we don't necessarily get lost in the sauce, but I feel like people just don't know at what stage in their career to even come talk to the DJ. People used to come straight out the gate. Now it's like, well, do I stream? Do I put my stuff up for streaming first before the clubs? Do I do radio before I drop it? Like, do I go holler at the mixtape DJs in the beginning first? Do I go see a playlist? I feel like a lot of artists are just confused. Either way it goes, we're gonna be in the equation at some point. If you don't do it voluntarily when you sign to a label, they're gonna do it. It's gonna come out your budget at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like we get overlooked. I feel like people just don't know what step to bring us in on.
So the Wayne story. What is the Wayne story?
The Wayne story is a crazy story. It really goes back to the Carter 3, and how I leaked the Carter 3, which caused a shitstorm in the music industry. And they tried to blackball me for it. Like, people told me, I may as well get me a job bagging groceries because I'll never get another gig in the music industry again. Because you got to remember, Wayne was the #1 artist in the world. Cash Money was the #1 independent artist in the world. Independent label in the world, and they were funded by or signed to Universal, which was the #1 entertainment conglomerate in the world. So, it was like, bro, you literally just fucked up your whole career. But I feel like when he made those comments basically saying fuck mixtape DJs and he didn't need mixtape DJs and things of that nature, he had just really crossed the line. I get that he was mad that his album kept getting leaked, but we weren't leaking the album. Niggas in his camp was leaking the album. People, we weren't in the studio grabbing his tracks. He had people in his camp who would go to numerous DJs and sell us tracks that were quote unquote unreleased tracks. DJs would buy these tracks because we knew in the mixtape game we'd make it back. And that was on him. Control your shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it was being presented to DJs as these are unreleased tracks. They'll never come out. They'll never make it on an album. You know what I'm saying? You'll be the only person to ever have it. So niggas was paying bands for those Lil Wayne songs. And I just felt like it was misplaced blame to say fuck us whenever mixtape saved his whole entire career when he was going through his bullshit with Cash Money and he had Squad Up. Because remember, them Squad Up mixtapes was burning up the streets and the internet like crazy. Like, they saved his career. So, just because you had some unloyal niggas on your team don't mean attack the very people who were instrumental in making sure that, you went from wobbity, drop it like it's hot to, the #1 artist in the world who's still regarded as being one of the #1 lyricists in the world. He did all that on mixtapes. Albums didn't do that. Cash Money didn't do that. DJs, mixtapes in general did that.
Man, Chuck, you gotta come back to meet the DJ.
Come on, let's do it. We'll set up another time.
I'm gonna come down to Charlotte. How about that?
Come down to Charlotte. We gonna finish it because we could go for hours. We could go for hours. But look, thank you for coming on Meet the DJ. Definitely.
Everyone, you have been locked in and you have now just met the DJ. Make sure you tap in and tune in with him. The show was presented by cocofilipina, Fleet DJs. And shout out to DJ chuckT. He actually came by and dropped us off some gifts.
Thank you.
Our mics are now sponsored by the Foundation of Music. You feel me? That was a real gift. But anyway.
Yeah, and for anybody trying to take my music business class, you can log on to djchuckt.com, sign up for them. It's a 2-day course. We're about to expand to 3 days. I don't know when y'all are going to see this, but as of right now, it's a 2-day course. We teach you about everything from copyrights, publishing, trademarks, business formation, digital distribution, and I break it all down into layman's terms, help you fill out the forms. We go over publishing, we go over sound exchange, we go over, just everything from A to Z. I lay it all out there for you. Even as of recently, running ads on social media. I teach you how to target your ads, run your ads on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter to where it's effective, and you're not just pissing into the wind, throwing away money.
So don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Make sure you're meeting the DJ. Tap in with chuckT.
Definitely.
And tune in every week. We're going to meet a new DJ. And this week we had the GOAT come sit with us in Supreme Studios. Shout out to Supreme Studios.
Definitely shout out to Supreme Studios.
Shout
out to Cocofilipina.
Hey.
And shout out to DJ Delmatic.
You already know. So Fleet DJ Carolina sponsored this event. We out of here. Peace.
There must be something in the water.